Now for our final story for tonight on front page. Here we go. What if I told you that in China, kids as young as 6 years old are already learning about AI, facial recognition, and privacy, while teenagers are being trained to design their own AI agents? That's not a surreal parallel reality. From this term, schools in Hangzhou and Zhejiang province have made artificial intelligence education mandatory. Every student from primary to high school will now spend at least 10 hours a year learning AI. The aim? Well, to make AI second nature for the next generation and secure China's dominance in the global AI talent race. But here's the burning question. What about India? Well, China's AI curriculum has a laddered approach. Primary grade 1 and 2, AI through smart speakers and simple tech with an emphasis on privacy and responsible use. Primary grade 3 4, using AI tools to combine text, images, and audio into projects. Primary grade 5 and 6, exposure to decision trees, algorithms, and neural networks. As far as the middle school goes, full AI workflow from data preparation to model training and evaluation. High school, project based design of AI systems and intelligent agents. This is policy backed, nationwide strategy. Since 2024, Beijing and Guangdong provinces have already mandated 8 to 10 hours of AI studies annually. And now Hangzhou is rolling it out citywide. It's systematic, backed by the Ministry of Education, and tied to China's broader ambition of becoming the world's AI leader. Now, let's contrast this with India. Kerala has been the pioneer. AI is in class 7 ICT textbooks, reaching 4 lakh students, and they've trained 8,000 teachers to use and critique AI. Tamil Nadu is next. From 2025, classes 6 to 9 will learn AI, coding, robotics, and use interactive tools like GeoGebra and PHET. Karnataka is introducing experimentation based learning in government schools, equipping students with AI, machine learning, robotics, and astronomy to move beyond rote textbooks. Telangana has taken bold steps. It's actually AI powered foundational literacy and numeracy program scaled from a pilot in 6 districts to all 33 districts, now reaching 500 plus schools and lakhs of students. Starting next year, primary school students in Telangana will also learn AI fundamentals alongside mathematics, making AI part of early education. On top of all of this, students in Sarsila are set to join an 8-week online course mentored by IIT Madras, covering AI, data science, law, and a lot more. Andhra Pradesh too has joined the movement with 50 government schools in Vishakhapatnam getting new AI STEM and robotic labs under an 8 crore rupees initiative led by Scient Foundation. And then there is CBSC. It introduced AI as an elective back in 2019, but the rollout has been uneven. Some schools like DPS Bengaluru and Atmiya Vidyapeeth in Gujarat have integrated AI, while many others depend on private vendors offering inconsistent, costly programs. And here lies actually the problem. India doesn't have a national AI curriculum yet. It's fragmented, uneven, and leaves rural and underfunded schools lagging behind. And make no mistake, AI is already everywhere in ChatGPT, Face ID, voice assistants, even the photos you upload. The next generation will not just need to use AI, they'll actually need to design, question, and govern it. So the real question is, should India move from pilots and electives to a compulsory AI curriculum, or are we comfortable letting China run ahead in the AI talent race? Joining us today is Rahul John Aju, aka Rahul the Rockstar, the 16-year-old AI prodigy from Kochi, founder of AI Realm Technologies, three times TEDx speaker, and AI educator. Rahul has trained 140,000 plus students and professionals worldwide, from IIT Madras to Google developer events, built tools like Nyaya Sathi, a legal AI bot, MeBot, which is a humanoid clone, and enterprise automation AI. At 16, yes, you heard that right. Question is, will our education system keep pace with it? We are also joined by Guru Murthy Kasinathan, Director and Lead at IT for Change, with 34 years of experience in education, policy, and technology. A pioneer in information and communication technology integration in schools. He has led systemic teacher training reforms, digital equity projects, and policy advocacy. Formerly with the Azim Premji Foundation and visiting faculty at TISS, Guru Sir brings the policy and systemic reform lens to today's conversation. He has long argued that technology in education must empower teachers and students, not just turn them into passive users. Welcome to the show, and we are very excited to deep dive into this conversation. Welcome to the show, Guru Sir. Welcome to the show, Rahul, the rock star.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting us.
Oh,
Yes,
it's a
thank you
true
so much for
pleasure, Rahul.
inviting us. Means a lot.
It
Yeah.
truly means a
Hi,
lot to us
everybody.
as well. Guru
I'm
Sir,
happy
very
to
good
be here.
evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine. Happy to be a part of the show and share from my thoughts.
Wonderful. A very happy Onam to the both of you. I believe we are right around the corner. But before we deep dive into this, I have to, of course, share our happiness to have the both of you to discuss this probably very important juncture where we are standing at today. So, if you're all set to go ahead, the first thing which I would like to start with is the dilemma. So China has rolled out a structured compulsory AI curriculum from primary to high school. We've already heard that, building a clear talent pipeline. So the question is, should India follow with a national mandate, or does our diversity demand a different approach? So, Rahul, I would love for you to give us from the innovation point of view. Guru sir, for this particular question, I would love for you to understand or share with us from the policy lens point of view.
Sure. So what I feel is that I am studying in a government school. Everyone expects you to be studying in CBSE, but personally, what I feel is that it should be both, right? The central should say that there should be AI, there should be a certain syllabus, and what should be taught, and the state maybe can improve upon it, enhance it, add their own thoughts.
Hmm.
But there should be a centralized approach. But at the end of the day, we are India, right? We are diversity in harmony. So there
Hmm.
should be a diverse. It should enhance whatever the state feels like, right? It should add to it, because AI is something that's improving like day by day. New tools are getting released, new things are coming out like fast. Like I can't keep up, right? So obviously, there the state can come. Like the central can't shape each state, each district, each thing, right? So I feel there should
Hmm.
be a state approach and a central approach, and central should kind of be heading it. And personally, from everywhere where I've gone to take sessions regarding AI, lot of schools there, I've seen that a lot of schools actually do teach AI, but they don't even know what they're teaching in first place, right? They don't have a
Hmm.
central
Hmm.
system, so they're just seeing what's available online. They're seeing syllabuses based on that is what they're doing. So it's not centralized, and I think that is very necessary.
Guru sir, I would love for you to please join the conversation from the policy perspective point of view. And of course, it's a little unbelievable, Rockstar, when you say that you can't keep up with it. But we'll come back to that a little later. Guru sir.
Yeah, thank you. And first of all, I'm happy to be on the show with a rock star. And this is the first time I'm with a rock star. Good show, Rahul.
I'm very happy to hear it, sir.
Sir,
Very,
we will have the autograph signing ceremony after we're done with it. I'm also looking forward to it.
yeah. So very interestingly, I have the same
I think I'll be
opinion.
needing everyone here's autograph.
Yeah, very interestingly, I have the same opinion that Rahul has got, and this comes from understanding the nature of education policy. So, if you look at AI in education policy, is an education policy because we're talking about education finally as a domain, and all education policy in India is both. So the center really comes out with broad guidelines. So the curricular frameworks, the larger, what should be taught, what should not be taught at a very broad level, school structures. A lot of what the central government does is guidelines and recommendations. But India is a federal country, and education is really, it used to be a state subject and it became a concurrent subject sometime in 1976. So the state governments actually have a need and a ability to have their own policies. This is simply because, Rahul is from Kerala, and Kerala has a history of excellent education system for several decades. And therefore, Kerala is able to launch a program where teachers are trained not only how to use AI, and I think you mentioned this very important part, not only learning to use AI, but learning to critique AI. And there I differ from Rahul because I feel AI is, people talked about it as data as oil, data as uranium,
Yeah.
AI is uranium. And you can't say uranium is so great that I'm going to carry it in my pocket and walk around. You should know what to do with it. It's very powerful, but it's also
Yeah.
very dangerous and harmful. And therefore, what will work for Kerala may not even work for Karnataka, let alone Rajasthan or Bihar or Uttar Pradesh. Every state has to make its own policy. But I'll just add one last thing that the policy is not how can we go about using AI, how can we bring AI maximum into our lives. That's rather, I think I would say, naive and short sighted because that is ignoring the fact that AI is very powerful. You can compare it with uranium. Uranium can do the right thing if it's used in the right way. But if you don't use it in the right way, what it can cause is enormous
Yeah.
devastation and harm. And that's what I would like to suggest here.
So a little circumspect as far as Guru sir's view is concerned. Of course, Guru sir and Rahul, both of you mentioned the fact that the state understanding. Now, if we actually look at it from the patchwork progress point of view, let's say Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu have actually taken bold steps with AI in school curriculums, while CBSE's efforts remain uneven. Rahul, first question comes to you, which is this. Do you think state led pilots are enough, or do we need a central policy? We've had a conversation about this, but I would like for you to elaborate on it. Guru sir, what risks do you see if India only relies on fragmented state level efforts, as you just had
Yeah.
mentioned?
Should I go in first?
Yeah,
Shall I
Yes,
respond?
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, please.
yeah.
So
You can
actually, I'll just very quickly talk about the risks and the cost because everybody talks about the benefits. And of course,
Yeah.
generative AI and AI, we can easily see the benefits. It does so many things and it's amazing. But there are a lot of costs. For example, Karnataka, like other states, have started a AI program for facial recognition of children. And the reason given by the Karnataka government is that you want to make sure that you know how many children are attending school, so that midday meals, what is the amount being consumed and spent is already known, attendance is tracked, etc. But what the Karnataka government is not realizing, and many governments in India are not realizing, is if you capture images of young people and store it in some data server somewhere in the state, let's say in Karnataka, we know that data leaks are very common. It's
Yeah.
not possible. It's theoretically not possible to have a data store which is so secure that it can't get leaked. In India, leaks are very common. We have heard of Aadhaar data getting leaked. We have heard of, for example, the when we go to the Digiyatra data has got leaked. So if young people's photos are leaked and cyber criminals get access to it, they will very clearly, morphing using AI, deepfakes using AI. Those dangers are going to create enormous cases of sextortion, blackmail, rape, repeated rape, gang rape. We read about this in the papers every day. So I'm not talking about theory. Already in American schools, they're saying that it's very normal for nudification. Young people's photos are, you remove the clothes of the person, fix a face, put a voice, and the nude persons, that person nude photos floating around. Imagine what were to happen in Karnataka if photos of young women, girls are floating around online without their knowledge, without their control, and that's being used to exploit them and harm them. So the benefit in saving some midday meals expenditure is very trivial compared to the huge danger that the Karnataka government is willingly, unwillingly, knowingly, unknowingly putting millions of young children to. So that's a ethical challenge that I mentioned to you. Apart from ethical challenges, the costs of AI are huge because all this AI, whether it's from Microsoft or from Google, it's coming from America. It's not owned by India. So China that way is clever. They made their own AI. They realized that if I use Gemini or if I use ChatGPT, the data that is collected by Microsoft and Gemini actually fuels the American empire. And we all know what Snowden told us, that the American industry and the American government are together trying to establish their control over the world. India is talking about digital public infrastructure. India is talking about digital sovereignty. So if you're using AI, we should clearly stop relying on the big tech AI that is there. The environmental costs are very clear. One query on ChatGPT, what is the electrical cost of it? What is the
Yeah.
overall data centers that are being set up? And lastly, I'll just say, what about the mining of rare earth minerals? So therefore, pilots are most important. Pilots are to be very small scale. Stop thinking about some large scale program, because if the damage is very huge, then you're going to pay the cost of that large scale damage. Small pilots for a long period of time, establish the uranium works and helps people, then go about it.
Rahul, I'd love your
Yes.
input on this. And of course, if you could reply to Guru Sir's points which have been put up, which of course seem to have a lot of gravitas.
Yeah. So I agree on whatever the sir is saying. I think we're just agreeing here, everything. But I totally agree. And that's what I believe in as well. AI should not be like everywhere when it is possible, right? There are a lot of risks from climate change to like the energy being used to even run AI, right? Just seeing the back end
Sure.
perspective. Right here, we are learning about Microsoft Paint, right? And I'm still thinking, what about the latest technology? I get it that you need the basics, but the latest things should be updated. And that is where the central government can come in and tell them the latest stuff with AI. AI can be as a subject even, right? Again, my friends are also telling me that they're not even allowed to use AI in school. I'm not telling to make you do all your homework. Hopefully, my teachers are not watching. But what I'm trying to
Trust me,
signal
they
is
are
that,
watching.
like, AI,
We've already told
hopefully,
them. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I did. I did. Sadly, I did send it. But in short, I believe is that let's say after 10th, we can use calculators, right? 11th, 12th. Just like that, AI should also be taught to use as a subject, right? Like how it can be used to do maths, how it can be used to do your homework, how it can make it do your essays. But till the, let's say the class 10th, it should be taught as a different subject itself. So it can be taught, and then suddenly it can be like, oh yeah, you can use the same AI that you were learning all this time to do your homework or make your life easier, just like we did with calculators and maths, right? I'm not telling it like the kids should know how to write their own essays. They should know how to live without AI, but they should also know how to use AI, where to use AI. And that is where the central government slash state government can collaborate, right? They both can collaborate on syllabuses and state can make sure that is happening and keep things updated. Here, one kind of the teachers are taught about AI. They have workshop, my teachers, right? Some of them even I can go and take, right? And I'm very happy that they're learning about Gemini, but they're learning about ChatGPT, but it is not enough, right? Compared to other states, yes, it's better. But the same thing should be happening all around India. But each state learns differently, just like Sir was saying, right? So that's my
Okay.
input.
All right, that's wonderful. But Guru sir, before actually I move on to the teacher readiness that of course Rahul also just alluded to, I just quickly thought I'll check with you on this aspect. You mentioned, of course, the big tech companies, but what is your thought or what is your take on the India AI mission? There is a big push. Prime Minister Modi, of course, is definitely campaigning in a big way for it. There is a big push. There is a big push as far as the semiconductors are concerned. So, how do you feel with something like that at a central policy level, where there is a lot of positive thrust as far as India AI is concerned? What do you feel that there could be a seamless integration as far as the education aspect in AI is concerned, moving forward?
Yeah. Thank you. So I'll make two quick comments. One comment is, I think Rahul rightly said, you can imagine that a teacher is using AI to set up an assignment for students. She's not setting it up herself. She just goes to ChatGPT and say, I want an assignment
Yeah.
in mathematics for grade 9 dealing with, factorization of polynomials. And hey presto, ChatGPT creates a very complex and beautiful assignment. The students get it, they go to ChatGPT and say, please give me a solution for this factorization of polynomials. And they get an answer and submit it back to the teacher. The teacher uses AI again to assess it. And AI says, this answer is excellent, it's perfect, it is the correct answer. And the student gets full marks. Now you have to ask yourself, what are you done? Earlier, without the AI, the student learned factorization of polynomials. The teachers taught factorization of polynomials. So the whole idea of AI as a substitution for human thinking, as a substitution for human intelligence, that's the most common usage of AI, as we know. All over the world, the most common use is how can I make my work easier and simpler, which means I outsource my thinking to AI. And in education, the important thing to remember is education is about building the skill of thinking.
Sure.
Education's purpose is to strengthen human beings' agency. We can become more agentic. The purpose of AI is to reduce your need to think. The purpose of AI is to make you less agentic. So AI and education have an inherently contradictory objective. I think this you need to understand. AI and education have inherently contradictory objective because the purpose of AI is to dilute the purpose of education, which is agency and ability to think for ourselves. Having said that, is there some way AI can be used? Yes, uranium can be made useful if you are able to design it carefully. In the Indian context, like you rightly mentioned, in India, language is a resource, but language is also a cause of concern, rivalry,
Yes.
political
Yes.
problems. And therefore, the whole idea of India that we should actually create local language resources, language translations, material translations to create a rich environment of people being able to access materials which are in other languages and also hopefully ability to speak languages. It's not that I don't need to learn Marathi because I know Tamil and some AI will translate Marathi into Tamil for me. The question we have to ask ourselves, can I use AI to learn Marathi, not use AI so that I don't need to learn Marathi? So I think education should look at how AI can strengthen agency, can make us think better. It's possible to do it, but it's much more difficult than the tendency that let us use AI to substitute our thought process. So language is certainly an important area. Central government is putting a lot of energy into it. More needs to be done.
I think that's a wonderful point, Guru sir, that you've made, and it's like the perfect segue for Rahul, because here is a 16-year-old prodigy, somebody who is a rock star. We all know the amount of work and everything that he's put into it. Very focused, very hardworking. But the question, Rahul, is that one point that Guru sir made, the agency aspect. How did you ever feel, given the fact that you have been so conversant with AI for so long, you've been teaching it, you've been taking TEDx talks. Did you ever feel that there was a compromise as far as your own agency, as Rahul the rock star is concerned? Did you feel that?
Well, what I feel is that AI as such, personally, how I have learned, is from self-learning, right? From YouTube videos and a lot of other ways. And personally, I feel is that our education system should be the one doing that work, right? There are a lot of courses online which you can learn. Yeah, there is. But the thing is that from our kids' point of view, there should be education. Very true, right? There should be education. And like rightly sir said, teachers should not be like writing questions with AI. The children should not be like answering the same questions with AI. Then why? Then we just make AI do everything, right? What is our
But that
main
is,
views?
sorry,
I
Rahul,
feel
but that is
teachers
probably
should
the
be the
point.
ones kind.
That is probably the point Guru sir is trying to make. So
Yeah,
I thought I'll ask about you personally. It's not a general thought. I would like for you to share your
yeah.
personal experience.
Well, from my personal experience, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I make PPTs or whenever I teach, I do use AI. So, but the thing is that I try to enhance whatever I do with the help of AI. Right? I have my own thoughts. I have my own ideas. Then I just go and talk to ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT, what do you think about this? Should I add this? Should I add this? It's kind of like co-working with the smartest thing in the world. Right? So I try to improve whatever I do, including my studies, with the help of AI, right? Including let's say my homework, right? After I do it, I use AI to make the answers better. Let's say it like that, right? So try to co-work with AI. Even when I teach, I use that even when I've learned AI, I was talking to AI so I can learn AI, right? We are moving into a world where it's more skill based than degree and all those ways. And I feel AI is one of the main things. And yeah, that's my thought on this.
Okay. Guru sir, the fact that if we move on to, and I think this would be the opportune time for us to mention this, since Rahul also did talk about co-working. A teacher is a guide, and the most important as far as one's growth is concerned. Kerala has trained 8,000 teachers, but in most CBSE schools, teachers struggle to even allocate time for AI lessons. So the question is, how critical is teacher training for AI education to work, and what models should India adopt? So Rahul, from a learner's perspective, I would like your thoughts on this. And as far as Guru sir is concerned, how critical is the teacher training and what systemic reforms are necessary? Guru sir, this is from that lens of maybe not compromising on the agency that you had mentioned, which I believe is a very incisive thought, but maybe trying to enhance it with a human touch, if a well-informed human does it.
Absolutely. I think your question is very well framed. So you look at society today, you will find that everybody is using a mobile phone, right? It's like everybody wants to use AI, using AI. Mobile phones are everywhere. But what do we see? In many cases, you go to a poor family, somebody is telling them over the phone, please give the OTP. And then they give the OTP because they don't know that giving an OTP is a problem. Rich people like us are able to protect our wealth. But poor people, even if they have 5,000 rupees balance, they will lose that balance because they will do something that they should not be doing. So, education about how it can harm you is a very important part of education, along with how can we make it work for us. So, teacher education is the most important part of the puzzle because teachers need to know, and Kerala has done that. Kerala did not do its training to tell its teachers how can you do prompt engineering. People think that prompt engineering is the most important part of AI. It is not, because it's how to use AI to surrender your agency. But the Kerala program was how can you intelligently understand what AI is, what it is doing, how Microsoft and Google are actually manipulating you. Google and Microsoft and what Amazon are manipulating you use to those code. Let's not have any doubt about that. Therefore, Kerala, what it has done, it has installed DeepSeek on its own server. This DeepSeek is not sitting on in China's server; it is sitting in Kerala's own server. The DeepSeek will listen to what Kerala wants it to do. Every state government should do that. Teacher training should focus on what I call as critical digital literacy. It's not digital literacy. Digital literacy means how can I use the software. Critical digital literacy means what is this technology doing to me, to society, to my classroom, to children, to their emotional state, to their learning possibilities and learning abilities. That curriculum has to be should be mandated and should be taught to every teacher in this country. Which is not how can I use it, but what does it mean, and when should I not use it, and how can I use it? I think all these components are extremely important. If we don't have that, just like the poor
Yep.
woman is giving up the OTP to the to the criminal who's asking her for the OTP, all of us are in that position with respect to AI, because the understanding about AI as something that is very good and good for everybody, the thinking is rampant. We should think AI is uranium. I think this is what I think is the central message I want to pass on. It can be useful, but it can be harmful more often than not. And the teacher needs to know when to use uranium, how to use uranium, and when not to use it, how not to use it.
Rahul, what would you like to say
Yeah,
on this?
yeah, sir is very true. And my point of view as a student who even studies in the Kerala government, right? Teachers actually want to know about AI, right? They
Okay.
called me to take a session, keeping everything aside, that a kid is teaching a teacher, they're keeping that thing aside, right? And it's very hard for them, right? And but because they want to learn AI and they want their kids to learn AI, they want their students to know AI in the best way, right? And I feel our government, in Kerala government specifically, is doing that, right? They're training DeepSeek, they're training the local models for our privacy. So the data won't go to China or America, right? We have it, right? But I feel we need our own model now, not even DeepSeek. But I feel That is what differentiates us, right? Even teachers, they can focus more on personalization to each students. That's what our teachers are doing, and then they can grade everything, then they can do all the repetitive tasks with the help of AI, right? So they don't have to work more. Trust me, I do that too. Even from, when I create content, even the editing to everything, the repetitive stuff, I let AI do it. But where I have to use my brain, just like the teachers, they need to know how to use AI. Sir is very right on the uranium part, because just like phones, this also has a good and a bad side, right? We need to teach the teachers what is the good and the bad, and how to use the good in the best way. So yeah.
Fair enough. Guru sir, you raised the point as far as which actually is very relevant, which is the equity aspect, which is basically today many AI programs are outsourced to private vendors. So let's say, for an example, companies like OpenAI, Google, Perplexity, you had mentioned this. Others are offering free subscriptions for their AI tools like ChatGPT and Gemini to college students and teachers. So great for elite schools and universities, but what is your thought as far as the rural kids are concerned? Are they being left behind? Shouldn't AI education be actually for the overall public good? This uranium, which could probably fuel the future of some brilliant minds. And as far as the government is concerned, do we need to ensure equal access across the country? This is a question which I would like for both of you to please answer.
Shall I go in first?
Yes, sir.
Whatever you,
Yeah,
yeah,
so you can.
yeah, very quickly.
Yeah, no
Actually, see,
worries.
yeah, the first thing I said was AI in education is an education issue. So instead of asking every time what shall we do with AI in education, you simply have to ask yourself what will you do with education. So policy has to be state and central. We said in the beginning. In the same way, education is understood to be a leveler in society. Any developed society has only developed because everybody got access to quality education. You look at Germany, you look at France, the entire Western Europe, you look at America, you look at UK. They developed only because whether you are poor or rich, you are in a village or in the city, whether you are an elite person or a not elite
Yep.
person, you could get good quality education. If education can, that's why Kerala is a great place, because wherever you are, the government school system is well equipped to provide good quality education to everybody. Now, by the same token, I would argue that AI in education cannot be a privatized affair. Private schools, although they have a right to exist, constitutionally they have a right to exist, private schools always will stratify society, because it's like I go to a hotel. If I pay 100 rupees for a coffee, I might get a particular kind of coffee. If I pay 5 rupees for it, the coffee is going to be different. So if money is going to be the basis for deciding what technology I can access, that's going to divide our society. It's going to ruin our society. Therefore, we cannot have AI from Gemini. We can't have AI from Google and Microsoft. Public systems have to have their own AI, like Kerala has rightly done, put a AI engine into their own server. Then, when the government has it, why should it hold it back from a rural child? Why should it hold it back from a poor child? The government system is meant for all. But the tragedy of our country is education is so grossly underinvested in, that the government system has become less and less popular with people. The latest UDI statistics say that there is an increasing move from children from government schools to private schools. The reason is very simple. People are seeing through that the governments are not putting money in government schools. Private schools seem to look better. In that situation, education is failing society. Each of our government is failing our people. AI in education, if it's privatized, will continue to harm us. Education has to be public. Education has to have investment. Some part of the investment also has to be in technology in education, including AI in education. But the public has to own it. It has to be based on public welfare and not on private profit.
I think, Guru sir, whatever I could take away from that, I think it's extremely impactful what you've just spoken about, because yes, you have actually put a very shining light on this mindset that we have had as a collective consciousness, or as a society for the longest time, where the government schools have not been given the best of pedestals, and maybe that needs to change. And I think whatever you are talking about, I hope all the people listening would take away something from that and actually contribute towards that. Rahul, your thoughts on this?
So what I feel is that there was already a gap between private and state, right? I have been in CBSE, I've been in state, I've gone to like the highest and highest of schools to the lowest and lowest of schools, right? When I take
Hmm.
sessions.
Hmm.
And personally, I feel there is already a gap, even without bringing AI into the equation.
Sure.
And I feel that we need to solve, right? We need to solve that.
Oh,
And I
yes.
feel Kerala is one of the best at it right now, even though it has a lot to do, like a lot. But personally, because I am like this, because of the government school, I've gone to government school in CBSE. Let's just say it was not the best for me, right, to grow as such. And here I, from IT to, there is even AI competition. There was an AI presentation competition 1 year before in our district level. So imagine that AI has already started, right?
Let
And
me
when I go to
guess.
private schools,
Let me guess who won. Did you, Guru sir? Any guesses who won?
Of course,
no,
Rockstar.
Ah,
Rockstar is the
Rockstar. Yes.
rockstar of
Good.
the country. Yeah.
Please continue, Rockstar.
thank you so much. I mean, I kind of cheated because I already knew a lot about AI. My teacher was like, "You have to represent our school. We have the perfect
And we
person."
love
When they heard this
honesty on
competition,
front page, I'm telling you.
thank
You're
you.
a rockstar.
But
Don't
yeah,
deny.
totally. So,
Don't deny you're a
I
rockstar.
think
You're a
I still
rockstar.
have a long way to go. Thank you so much. But yeah, particularly this is what I feel. In short, like it has already improved, but the gap has always been there, and we have to not just focus on AI, but the overall gap of connecting the private and the government schools, right? And specifically, Kerala is kind of leading in that. But even if they're having the AI competition, they're not teaching it, right? So that is still left. But the private schools, they have the same competition, but government never publicizes it, like that they are doing it. That we have the AI competition, right? But the private schools do. So everyone thinks, the rural side to the urban side thinks that the urban is getting more kind of
Hmm.
encouragement. They're
Hmm.
getting more stuff. They have more stuff. Even if the kind of the public sector might have that too, right? The state schools might have that too. But there is a
Hmm.
long way to go on what we have to do.
Okay. Very quickly, Guru sir and Rahul, I would like for you to answer this from the fact that we've spoken about the links, we've talked about how AI is going to maybe impact and is already impacting society in a big way. Guru sir, moving forward, what are your key points? What should be the key takeaways? You've, of course, mentioned a lot of importance needs to be given in terms of the way AI is integrated. But more importantly, what I'd like to ask you, sir, is that what could the society at large, given the fact that this is not going to stop? So let's be honest, AI is everywhere. So we are not going to be able to go ahead and contest that thought. How should we integrate it at best, given our cultural, traditional, and administrative fabric? And also, at the same given point in time, how are we to say in the race or actually win the race moving forward in terms of the way the other countries are integrating it with AI? So first to you, Guru sir, and then I'll have a question for Rahul.
Yeah. So few hundred years back, the Pope divided the world into two parts and said, Spain and Portugal, you can rule the world and spread Christianity. But spreading Christianity was just an excuse for colonial control over the world, right? So we
Hmm.
all know that every country in the world was either a colony of Britain or France
Hmm.
or Netherlands or any of those colonies. So
Hmm.
today we are all going to become an AI colony of USA or China. And I think we should be very clear about that. China and USA are far ahead of everybody else. Even Europe is nowhere in the picture. Even European Union is
Hmm.
really scared because they don't know whether they can trust American AI, and they know they don't want to trust Chinese AI. And India is also in the similar situation. And therefore, policy is very important. We are at a very, very crucial juncture where we are going to become a digital colony, either of America or China or both. And that is not something that is going to be good for our society. First
Hmm.
is digital sovereignty has to be established by policy. China can do it vis-a-vis America. Definitely India can do it. We need to have digital sovereignty. We need to have data sovereignty. Currently, we have free flows of data where Microsoft and Google and all of them can just take all the data from India, harvest it, build their intelligence, and then sell it back to us as finished AI product.
Hmm.
Britain imported cotton from India, sold back cloth to us, and impoverished us. Microsoft is, they're importing data from us and they will give us AI, they'll sell the AI to us. And not only it is economically going to impoverish us, more than economic empowerment, it is going to politically and psychologically enslave us. So therefore, national policy for digital sovereignty, data sovereignty, AI sovereignty is a must. Then we create our own AI models which are relevant to our context. We have policy for that. We run pilots. We figure out what will work for our country, what is required in different locations. And then through public investment, both by the union government and by the state governments, we can make AI work for us. We should not think about a race. The minute you think about a race, it's a way to fool ourselves because, oh, they're running ahead, let's also run with them. But whether that race is the race we want to be in, we should create our own race. We are not interested in a race set by USA or China or Microsoft or Google or Alibaba or Tencent. The race is the race we have to run in the path that we have to set for ourselves. Digital sovereignty, data sovereignty, AI sovereignty are extremely important principles that policy must create.
Okay, Rahul, due to the paucity of time, I will have to request you very quickly to give a very short message that you would like to give to all the policy makers. Guru sir has made some very, very valid points. I'd give you this opportunity to please rebut with what you have to say, a very short message to all the policy makers. You yourself are a case study, and we have a lot of respect for all of your hard work. So very quickly, if you could give a message to the
Thank you.
policymakers.
Thank you for inviting me. It was awesome hearing other point of views. See, what I feel is that we can either be Malaysia or South Korea, right? Malaysia kind of grew their economy, but they went into the manufacturing and were stuck there. South Korea, they grew their economy into manufacturing, but then after that, they created their own stuff. Samsung, they created that is everywhere now, right? BTS, lot of like smooth language. I'm not trying to sing, but so basically, India needs to be the best version of India, right? And for closing, I just want to tell, like, for everyone as all, use AI, use wherever it's needed, right? Don't squeeze it everywhere possible. Don't make it do your homework. But at the same time, to government and everyone, AI is important. Do teach it. We need it as a subject. We do not need it as something that's used for cheating, or when you tell someone not to do something, they will want to do it more, right? Yeah. So what I would say is that they should be more taught about AI. The teachers should be more taught about AI, just like they're doing it in Kerala, around India, right? And that's what I feel. And state, India, everyone should collaborate, right? And I feel the central state, the kids, the teachers, everyone needs to work together to move to the next step, right? If they're separate, if they're doing different stuff, we can't. So I feel we all need to work together, and that's the main thing. And again, it was awesome talking to everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Guru sir, one last question which I have, which genuinely has piqued my interest when you have spoken, and so is Rahul. Rahul, of course, is part of the Kerala system. Why can't we take, sir, as somebody who's had 34 years of experience and rich experience at that, do you not think that logically this came to my mind, that why can't we take a book out of Kerala's a page out of Kerala's book and maybe replicate it across the country? And if we manage to do that, do you feel that we'll have a lot more of a homogeneous sort of an environment where AI can genuinely then contribute very, very positively, as Rahul just mentioned?
Yes, certainly I think that we can do. Rahul used the word adopt. I'll just slightly modify it and say adapt. So obviously what works for Kerala won't work elsewhere, but the ideas, the principles, the models, the approaches, and certainly the code itself, resources that Kerala has created are very useful, very potential for adaptation across the country. But one thing we must remember is many people think technology can be used to leapfrog. That is, you are at a very, very backward state, and then with technology suddenly you can jump 100 years, jump 200 years. In education, that's very difficult to do because of the nature of education as a very slow changing animal. So Kerala reached its state of education not in 1 or 2 years or 5 years, right from the first state government which emphasized public education, and the first communist government of Namboodiripad really invested a lot in school education. And government after government, whichever be that political dispensation, has spent a lot on education, invested a lot on education. Few years back, they had a whole program on public school rejuvenation. It was a program that thousands of crores were spent on rejuvenating public schools, making sure infrastructure was perfect, teachers are in place. Those ideas have to be replicated first before we say Kerala trained AI teachers, AI teachers with AI. We will train Bihar teachers or Rajasthan teachers with AI. We need to make sure that they have pakka schools, they have classrooms, they have electricity, they have drinking water, toilets, sufficient teachers. Then the AI will certainly, we can take AI ideas from Kerala and implant them there. But if the classroom is not there, the teacher is not there, what is the AI going to do there? So adaptation is right, but adaptation in very well thought out sequence will work, I think.
Wonderful. Rahul, I genuinely want, actually, I represent the AIM network in saying this to you. You have been an inspiration. Please continue to do so. You are a case study, not just that. You, I believe, are truly a trailblazer and a prodigy. And continue to probably spread the knowledge, spread the word. And in terms of what Guru Sir has just talked about, I wish there can be a lovely marriage in terms of all of the guardrails that Guru Sir is talking about and the flight of imagination that you have, which is only going to keep growing. And I believe, as far as both of you gentlemen are concerned, it has genuinely been a rewarding conversation. There have been so many aspects that both of you have put across, which definitely require a lot of critical, pensive, and I think more importantly, sensitive, consistent thinking to make sure that the race is something that we set instead of following something else, given our environment. I would like to thank both of you again, and it's been a true pleasure having you with us on Front Page Live. And I wish, sir, that we are going to be having these conversations as we move along.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. It's a wrap here on Front Page, but trust me, it has been one of those conversations. It's been one of those evenings, which has definitely given us a lot to think about, a lot of food for thought. And I really wish that all of the policymakers, all of the people watching this, the companies which are actually trying to encourage India AI mission, everyone joins in as far as this effort is concerned. And we set a new path. We go ahead and light a new torch, which is so needed as far as our education system is concerned, not just in the metros, but into the hinterlands, and going ahead and ensuring that what we create from there will actually be a world beating population and a mindset. Well, this is me signing off from Front Page, which is brought to you by AIM Network, India's definitive media organization, which brings you everything AI and technology. And as far as Front Page is being powered by is concerned, well, we are powered by Cypher 2025. And trust me, if you're there on the 17th and the 19th of September at KTPO Whitefield, Bangalore, you shall witness that power. And that power is the power of AI. And I'll leave you with this, as always. Think AI, think AIM.